Imagine a young man who has never seen the real world. For 35 years, he grows up inside an underground shelter, believing that the outside world is dangerous and gone. His parents raised him with old values, classic manners, and kindness, but also with fear. This strange beginning sets the stage for a story full of surprises, laughter, and discovery. Today we explain Blast from the Past, 1999. In 1962, America is gripped by Cold War tension. Rumors say the Soviet Union may drop an atomic bomb at any moment. People grow anxious, some building bomb shelters in their backyards. Dr. Calvin, a cautious scientist, takes this very seriously. He prepares a huge underground bunker, carefully stocking it with food, supplies, books, and even a small indoor garden. He wants everything ready for decades of survival if disaster strikes. One evening, Calvin and his pregnant wife Helen host a cheerful party at their home. Music plays, guests laugh, and life seems normal until the television interrupts with a grave announcement. President John F. Kennedy appears, warning about secret missions against the Soviet Union. The broadcast has no details, but it fuels Calvin's worst fears. Terrified that war is about to begin, Calvin panics. He rushes to clear the guests out of his house. Helen protests, but Calvin insists. He pulls her into the newly finished bunker, determined to keep her safe. Just moments later, fate intervenes. An aircraft flying over the city suddenly malfunctions. The pilot cannot control it, and the plane crashes directly into Calvin's house. From inside the bunker, Calvin and Helen feel the earth shake. To them, it sounds exactly like the start of nuclear war. Without hesitation, Calvin seals the bunker's heavy steel door. He explains to Helen that it cannot be opened for 35 years, the time he believes radiation will need to clear from the air. Above ground, emergency crews arrive at the crash site. They find only wreckage and assume no one survived. For the world, Calvin and Helen are gone. But underground, their life is just beginning. Inside the sealed bunker, life takes a strange turn. Helen feels trapped and miserable, missing the fresh air and sunlight. But Calvin is convinced they must stay underground for safety. Days turn into weeks, and soon Helen goes into labor. With Calvin's help, she gives birth to a healthy baby boy. They name him Adam. Adam grows up knowing nothing about the outside world. For him, the bunker is home. His father becomes his teacher, giving him lessons in science, history, languages, boxing, and even the stock market. Calvin believes Adam must be ready to rebuild civilization when the time comes. His mother, Helen, teaches him cooking, dancing, and simple chores. Together, they raise him with strict manners and old-fashioned values. The bunker becomes a small, strange version of normal life. They shop in a pretend store, go fishing in a tank, and read books in the lounge. For Adam, this is the only world he knows. Above them, the world moves on. The land where their house once stood changes into diners, shops, and finally a nightclub. Nobody realizes a family lives just below. The true spark of the story comes years later, when Adam grows into a man ready to step outside. On his 33rd birthday, he wishes for something simple yet powerful, to find the perfect partner. His parents celebrate with homemade gifts, but Helen cannot hide her frustration anymore. She screams in private, tired of being trapped underground for so long. Finally, in 1997, the timer on the bunker door reaches 35 years. The heavy lock opens by itself. The family is filled with excitement. But Calvin, always cautious, insists he must check the outside world first. Wearing a radiation suit, he climbs the elevator and steps into what used to be their home. To Calvin's shock, he doesn't see a nuclear wasteland. He sees a messy neighborhood filled with graffiti, adult stores, guns, and people behaving strangely. He mistakes it all for proof of mutants living in a destroyed society. Terrified, he hurries back to the bunker and warns Helen and Adam that the outside is still unsafe. The stress causes Calvin to suffer a heart attack. Supplies are running low, and Helen finally snaps. She tells Adam that he must go outside to buy food and see the world for himself. She gives him money, a shopping list, and one final request: find a good, kind girl. Calvin, still clinging to his fears, warns Adam not to enter certain places like the adult video store, claiming they are filled with radiation. Adam packs his things and rides the elevator up. What he sees overwhelms him. For the first time in his life, he sees the open sky, buildings, cars, and crowds of people. His eyes light up with wonder as he greets everyone he passes, though many think he is strange. Even his old-fashioned words and manners confuse people. Trying to complete his mother's shopping list, Adam visits a grocery store, but quickly realizes he doesn't know how to return to the bunker. Running low on cash, he he decides to sell his father's collection of vintage baseball cards. At the shop, he almost gets tricked by the greedy owner. But at that moment, a woman named Eve steps in, exposing the scam. Adam is amazed by her honesty and courage, and something inside him changes. He starts to feel the first spark of love. She seems smart, bold, and very different from the people he has met so far. Eve agrees to help Adam after he offers her 2 baseball cards as payment. She takes him to the Holiday Inn and watches as Adam is thrilled by things most people take for granted: a television in color, the view from a high floor, and even the sunrise. Eve starts to notice how unusual Adam is. But here lies the problem. Adam cannot explain his true life story without sounding crazy. If he tells Eve about the bunker and his parents, she will think he has lost his mind. When he speaks with perfect manners, enjoys old songs, and reacts with childlike joy to rain or baseball, Eve finds him charming but strange. The bigger problem comes when Adam realizes he must buy enough supplies to last his family 2 more years. He hires trucks and shops with Eve's help, but his behavior draws attention. Eve's roommate Troy also notices Adam's odd background, though he enjoys his sweet nature. As days pass, Adam spends more time with Eve and Troy. They introduce him to modern life, shopping malls, dancing, skateboarding, and even the ocean. For Adam, each new experience feels like a miracle. When it rains, he stands under the sky with open arms, calling it a gift from God. Eve watches him and, despite herself, begins to admire his pure heart. Troy decides Adam needs a modern look, so he gives him a complete makeover. At a swing dance club, his manners and confidence shine. Women are drawn to him, but Eve grows jealous when Adam's attention shifts toward others. The night takes an unexpected turn when Eve's ex-boyfriend mocks Adam. Instead of walking away, Adam uses the boxing skills his father taught him to defend himself. His clean and powerful moves shock everyone, sending the bully running. Eve is stunned. Not only is Adam kind and innocent, he is also strong and capable of protecting himself. Even though Adam and Eve grow closer, trouble soon follows. At the dance club, Eve becomes upset when other women show interest in Adam. She tries to hide her feelings, but her jealousy makes her restless. Adam, still innocent, cannot understand why she seems angry. Eve feels embarrassed by the fight and storms out. Adam leaves quietly as well, confused and heartbroken. When Troy tells Eve that Adam went home with another girl, Eve suddenly realizes the truth. She is in love with Adam. Rushing to find him, she nearly cries when she thinks she has lost him. But Adam surprises her by showing up, gently taking care of her when she trips. In that quiet moment, Adam confesses his feelings. He tells Eve that he could not stop thinking about her, even when surrounded by other women. Their emotions finally burst out as they share their first kiss. But the happiness does not last. Adam decides it is time to tell Eve the truth about his past, the bunker, and his parents. He even admits that he wants her to be his wife. Instead of believing him, Eve panics. To her, Adam sounds like a delusional man with a wild story. Heartbroken, she kicks him out, convinced he has been lying all along. For Adam, this rejection is crushing. The next day, Adam tries to keep moving forward. Troy takes him around town, even teaching him how to drive. But fate leads Adam back to the place he has been searching for, the building above his family's bunker. There, he discovers that Melker, people gather to worship the Holy Family, who came from underground. For Adam, this is both shocking and hopeful. At last, he knows where his parents are waiting. Excited, Adam rushes to share the news with Eve. But when he arrives, he finds psychiatrists ready to take him away. Eve, still unsure, has called for help. Feeling betrayed, Adam panics. He pretends to cooperate, but at the first chance, he runs. The chase is frantic, doctors after him, Adam weaving through the streets. Just before escaping, he hands Eve his hotel key and asks her to pay his bill with the baseball cards. Then he disappears. When Eve and Troy enter Adam's room, they finally see proof. Antique items, stocks worth millions, and everything exactly as he described. The truth hits them hard. Adam was never lying. Realizing her mistake, Eve sets out to find him. Meanwhile, Adam returns to the bunker and embraces his parents with tears of relief. He tells them the outside world is beautiful, and for the first time, hope returns. Eve and Troy continue searching, desperate to make things right. At last, outside the old nightclub building, they spot Adam. Eve runs to him, tears in her eyes, and hugs him tightly. This time she does not let him go. She admits she was wrong and tells him she believes his story. Adam is overjoyed and takes her to meet his parents in the bunker. Inside, Helen welcomes Eve warmly, while Calvin gives Adam an awkward but heartfelt talk about love and marriage. For the first time, Eve feels like part of their unusual family. Over dinner, laughter replaces years of fear. Adam's dream of finding a partner has finally come true. Soon after, Adam and Eve begin selling Calvin's old stock certificates, which are now worth millions. With the money, they build a beautiful new home in the countryside, designed to look just like the old house that once stood above the bunker. Calvin and Helen move in slowly, adjusting to the new world at their own pace. Adam finally tells his father the truth, that there was never a nuclear war, only a plane crash. Calvin, still doubtful, quietly plans a new bunker just in case.